Alright folks, welcome back to another one. In today's video, I felt the need to report about something that is just incredibly hilarious. As we should all know, Final Fantasy 16 recently dropped on PC platforms, hip hip hooray, and with the launch of the PC version, Naoki Yoshida, the producer of the game, felt the need to make a bit of a public service announcement to warn people that are going to be diving into the PC version of 16 not to get too naughty when it comes to mods for the game. That is literally telling the community, don't you dare even for 1 second think about installing one singular NSFW mod. One of the really cool things about games coming to the PC platform is custom community curated content. This introduces all kinds of new content like brand new weapons and swords and shields, brand new character models, brand new locations in some instances, new quests, graphic packs, new custom music, additional game features. But I feel like I'm missing out one of the most downloaded mod categories. Oh,
the nudie mods.
Yeah, probably the most popular among mod categories would be the NSFW category. And I can guarantee you that any game that has a mod nexus or mod support of some kind, there will be an NSFW mod that does exist. Final Fantasy especially is a game series where the community latches onto the characters. Not just for the cool sake of, wow, look at that guy with the big ass sword, now that's badass. But also for, ooh, my monkey neuron is going off. In fact, now I wonder if we go over to the Final Fantasy VII Remake Nexus, let's check out the most popular mods of all time. Oh, yep, okay, there it is. There it is, Tifa 4K High Poly Nude mod. We got another one right here. Put Tifa permanently in the purple dress. Okay, sexy dress, Aerith. Okay, Tifa nude natural
adult honeybee in
Aerith nude mod by Aerosmith. Thought those guys made music. Jesse 4K high poly nude mod. So Naoki Yoshida is incredibly familiar with how the mod culture goes for video game. NSFW is running rife when it comes to the Final Fantasy VII Remake Nexus. PC Gamer recently interviewed Square Enix about the PC release, mentioning here, now that Final Fantasy 16 is about to land on our rigs, I had to ask director Hiroshi Takai if there was any particularly goofy mods he would be down to see in the game. Except, I didn't get an answer from Takai. Instead, producer Naoki Yoshida stepped in, all
dad style,
seemingly in an attempt to make sure modders don't run riot with Clive and crew. Naoki said, if we said it'd be great if someone made XYZ, it might come across as a request, so I'll avoid mentioning any specifics here. The only thing I will say is that we definitely don't want to say anything offensive or inappropriate, so please don't make or install anything like that. So he didn't mention any specifics, as he wants to avoid people potentially confusing his words with a possible request, but we can presume exactly what Yoshida is meaning here. The issue with doing something like this, though, is when you ask the internet not to do something, well, that just fuels the internet to want to do it even more. So through this, I'm expecting about 2 to 3 times the amount of NSFW mods for Final Fantasy 16. 16, though, is a little bit of a different case because it does actually use a proprietary engine compared to something like Final Fantasy VII Remake, which runs on Unreal Engine 4. That engine is a little bit easier to work with. It's publicly available for literally anyone to download. There's a ton of tutorials out there. You can learn how to use that engine and modify games that run on that engine. But looking at something like Final Fantasy 16, it does use one of Square Enix's proprietary engines, so it'll probably be a while before we start seeing content to like that degree where we've got Clyde's titties out right there in front of us. I'm also sure that there's some people out there that have been waiting to rip the models of Benedicta and Barnabas, as in the game, there literally exists nude models of these characters. Now, how nude they are, we don't know. Did they actually model in, you know, the bits? Who knows? Modders are gonna find out mighty quick though, let me tell you that much. There's a lot of shipping business that goes on with the Final Fantasy 16 story. So, I mean, it was inevitable that there was going to be some type of NSFW stuff cooked up for this game. But again, as I said, it's going to be accelerated now times 80. It's so funny reading this from Naoki Yoshida, who clearly doesn't want any of this kind of stuff going into his game. But then you have the Nier director Yoko Taro. NSFW mods, you say? More. Now, NSFW isn't just within the inappropriate and offensive category. There's many other things that fall underneath that umbrella that, obviously, in this case, Naoki Yoshida is referring to, but obviously, NSFW is one of them. And my guy, I respect you wholeheartedly, but you're stopping no one. Now look, whatever people want to do with their video games, hey, I mean, that's up to them. So long as you're an adult and you're indulging in this kind of content, so be it. That's your right. Personally, it's not my cup of tea, and so long as you're not installing NSFW mods into something like Kingdom Hearts? I am not even pulling your nipples. NSFW stuff does exist for Kingdom Hearts, and if I ever catch anyone installing that kind of junk for that game, I'm calling the police. People gotta leave the kids alone! Here's the reality of the situation, though. If you decide to bring your game, a game that has a large audience, following, and community, to the PC platform, well, you better expect the main characters to be getting unclothed on day one. But I mean, Yoshida has told us not to, so, like, we'll comply, right? Like, everyone's gonna behave themselves? Is everyone currently behaving themselves with 16 right now? I mean, it's available right now. Are you behaving yourself? Swear to God, if I do a file sweep of the main directory of Final Fantasy 16 on your computer, I better not find anything sussy on that. I'll tell Yoshida on you. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel to keep up with everything going on here. Check out my other garbage social media platforms. Links below. A big thank you to my wonderful Turkey-tastic patrons. Hope you're all having a fantastic day, and we'll talk real soon.